So as a part of the great tour of Sandy Springs, well, we're going to take its public transportation. We are going to see what it is like to take the bus. We're going to take MARTA. In fact, kind of a big day today for us. My wife and I are going to get our shots, our first COVID shot. And we're going to take a bus to a train. We're going to take the train to basically the Mercedes Dome that will hopefully get us to where we're going to get our shots. And I think we're leaving plenty enough time. Yeah, our shots are like at 12 and it's like 10:30 now. So we got an hour and a half. Hopefully we'll be able to make it by then. All right. And we're all doing this walking. No transportation, no bike or anything. Just gonna walk to the bus stop and then see how that goes. So we made it to the bus stop and we're waiting on a bus. We got the city map here, and then of course we got right over here all the times. So we're gonna see if we're close to time. We're on the bus. So here we start off, as you heard me saying, that we were just getting on bus number 87. This is near the corner of Roswell Road and Abernathy Road. At this point, we're moving south until we reach Hammond Road, where we'll turn left, and then we'll continue to the Dunwoody Station. Yes, Sandy Springs train station is technically closer, but where we live and where the bus 87 travels to, it's actually easier for us to go to the Dunwoody Station this way. Now, you might ask if this is the fastest and most convenient way to get to the stadium, and I say, kind of. If you look at the attached map, or the one in Google Maps, it will show you that the fastest route via car and train, and well, they're technically the same. But there are some things to consider, and we'll get into those here in just a moment. Yeah. Real quick, yeah. Not difficult at all. Real quick, get in, get your money, get your pass, and we're about to head onto the train. Alright, so while we head on up and wait for the train, let me tell you about the first thing we need to consider. So, you need to check the schedules and verify that you will be near and or prior to the next bus or train departure from that station. If not, you will lose about 15 minutes-ish per stop. Here comes the train. Well, this is us. Alright, so while we ride this wonderful train ride to the city center, or 5 Point Station, let's finish those things to consider. So number 2, if the number of persons riding or ridership is quite low, MARTA will change some train schedules. What I mean is that usually the red train goes all the way from North Springs at the top of the map, all the way down to the airport. But on some days, the red train will only go as far as the Lindbergh Center, and then, well, it just basically turns around and goes back. So, you will have to get off and wait for the gold train that comes from the Doraville side to take you to the city center, which is called 5 Points, and or beyond if you're going to the airport. If you miss the gold train, you will have to wait about 20 minutes. Now, number 3, on the other side, if you drive, well, you don't have to plan to make any connections, but you will have to be sure of your travel times based on the time of day and thus traffic, and of course, the heavier the traffic, the more possibilities of an accident that could delay you quite a bit of time. Also, and number 4, if you drive, you must find parking, and it may require, of course, payment. And I say may, it will require payment. You will have to pay for parking in downtown. And the delay is trying to find the spot, not to mention the possibility that you must park a long distance away and walk for maybe even 20 minutes or more. This is, of course, dependent on the event you're going to on that day, as this is the Mercedes Dome, and the events are anywhere from pro football, soccer, basketball, college sports, and concerts. But with the train, The station is literally 5 minutes from gate number 2, and that's just walking. And lastly, number 5. If you're going to the Mercedes Dome, you may be going to enjoy some adult beverages as well as the event that you're going to. And this, my friends, is where the train/bus makes so much more sense. Right? You go, you take the train, you take the bus, you enjoy the activities, you enjoy the adult beverages with friends and family and whatnot, and you take the bus and train back home. No driving, no DUIs, or wherever you're from in the country, if you call it DWIs, no driving while impaired or intoxicated. You break no laws, hopefully. And you go home and you have a good night's sleep and you remember that you enjoyed this great activity at the Mercedes Benz Dome. Okay, so now that we've considered some of the potential options of whether we need to drive or take mass transportation, we now turn our focus onto MARTA itself. I want to introduce you to MARTA, which stands for Metropolitan Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority. MARTA operates mainly buses and trains in the counties of Fulton, Clayton, DeKalb, and with some bus operations in Cobb County. MARTA is the 8th largest rapid transit system in the U.S. by ridership. Just so you know, though, this is not going to be a MARTA video, just on how we took MARTA from Sandy Springs to the Mercedes Benz Dome. We will cover the MARTA system in a more detailed aspect later in another video, if it's warranted. But in a nutshell, here are the 4 main train lines and their stops. There is the Red Line, where it travels north from Sandy Springs down to Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, which is located south of the city of Atlanta. There is the Gold Line that travels from Doraville south to Lindbergh Station, where it joins the Red Lines and continues down to the airport. There is the Green Line that travels east and west and will begin at Bankhead and goes to Edgewood. And then there's the Blue Line that also travels east and west and goes from H.E. Holmes to Indian Creek. Alright, so at this point we have just departed the Red Line/Gold Line and taken the escalator up top because the east-west lines actually traverse over the top of the north-south lines. We are now going to be heading over to our green-blue lines, where we will take the next train that comes and we will go westbound 2 stops to get to the either Phillips Arena / Mercedes-Benz Dome stop. It's actually a very quick trip there. So we're approximately 1 minute away from our train arriving. But as you can see over my shoulder here, going right back outside. But if you look inside, we are all secluded inside. That's the eastbound train. Well, we just got off this train to our last stop at Mercedes-Benz, and hopefully it'll be leaving here in a second. There it is. It's got a beat. Oops. Wow. And we're here, Mercedes-Benz, at least underneath. All right, so this is how we do it. Boop. And away we go. And some really cool architecture I noticed on the way out of the station. Looks nice. We are, wow, here at the State Farm Arena. But what's really cool is what's right behind us. And there it is. That's where we're going. Mercedes Benz Stadium. All right, guys, so why were we even at Mercedes Benz Stadium in the first place? It was 12 o'clock in the afternoon. There was no event scheduled. This is during a lot of restrictions and time frame. Well, the reason why, and you can see in some of the photos here when it comes up, that, well, Mercedes Benz Stadium was a location for COVID-19 shots. Yep. The reason why my wife and I went there was to get our shots. Now, the process of doing this and getting the appointment was a little bit difficult to get the appointment, but once you got the appointment, once you got there, you went to basically gate 2 with an appointment. You got a code with your email. You provided the code. You walked through a line of process. You did some check-ins. You did some verifications, and you showed your ID and filled out the card in certain aspects. Went over, got your shot, and then you went and waited.
Mercedes Benz Stadium. It's 12 o'clock in the afternoon. We have to sit here for 15 minutes and wait to make sure we don't have any adverse reactions to the shot. But what a view.
So with the shot complete and no adverse reactions, we ended up leaving the stadium, walking back out through another exit and walking almost all the way back around to where we came in at exit 2. And we took a couple good photos of some stuff outside the stadium, and then we made our way back to the train.
Woo. All right, so just outside of the reaches of the Mercedes Benz Stadium, my beautiful wife and myself, we got our first shot done. We did it. We got the first shot. The arm feels a little, and both of us, our minds are a little fuzzy from the shot, but no adverse reaction that we can tell so far, and everything seems to be good. But one shot down. Our second shot is in about a month. No, in about 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. Our next shot's going to be here, so we're going to take this trip one more time. Again, so far coming here, perfect. Going home, we're about to find out.
So let's kind of go over the whole process of getting there while we ride this big long escalator down to the train station. So we walked very short distance to catch bus number 87 outside our house, just down the road. Got on the bus. It took us about 15 to 20 minutes to get to the train station. A few minutes in the train station purchasing the tickets for the train, went up the escalator, got on the train within about 5 minutes, took the train over to 5 Points, which is basically at the center of Atlanta, got off there, went upstairs, got the next train on the blue-green station line, took it 2 more stops down the road, heading west, and we were basically at Mercedes Benz Stadium. We went up the stairs, walked probably about 5 minutes max, and we were in entrance number 2, going through the process to get our shots. Probably 45 to 50 minutes fully just to get there.
So everything is as simple as you go to those machines, use a credit card, so you can go get you a little cheapy card like this, and then you come over to the entry gates. One thing I had to learn the hard way: follow the arrow, take your card, touch it, and there you go. Whoop. You're in. Now you just got to go find your trains. And here comes our train.
Hey, so since the reverse trip is literally a mirror of how we got here, for those of you who enjoy the views and trains and whatnot, well, for the next 5-ish minutes, we'll just have some music and a whole lot of video of train traveling.
Yeah.
If you don't, you can skip to the end.
todos deben disfrutar del viaje. Encuentre más información acerca de nuestro código de conducta en itsmarta.com.
Ends our train trip. Relatively uneventful. Very nice. Trip. We are a couple yards from our final destination, but it was a great trip.
Yeah, so basically, just wrapping up the video, guys, here. I just wanted to tell you I had a blast. If you don't mind doing me a favor, hit the subscribe, hit the like, put in some comments if you like what you saw, if you want a little more of that. Let me know what you're thinking, okay? But nonetheless, this was a great trip, and I had a blast editing this video and putting it all together. So, you know what? Peace, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.